Could you help me with something?
Hey, you're Truscon, right? I'm Zero Hero. Pleased to meet you.
Yeah, me too. Could you tell me the way to PDX and World Corp?
Sure. I think PDX moved their HQ to the old GIT building. It's on your right when leaving this station. World Corp is to the left. Huge and intimidating building. Very difficult to miss.
Alright, thanks a lot.
I can draw you a map if you want.
What, right now?
Sure. I got this napkin I can draw up a quick map on if you don't mind a bit of shoddy artwork.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, let's see. That street from down there. And across here. And then a bit of a turn. And that one goes a bit longer, I think. About here, isn't it? And then Ravings is down here. Oh, we mustn't forget King's Tower, even if the reception is closed this time of day. Right, I think that's it. Here you go.
Wow, thanks. This is, really great.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Excuse me, Sergeant Gilo?
How? Oh, the name tag. Yes, what is it?
I was wondering, what's this building that you're guarding?
It's an office complex owned by SBK Holdings. It's used by several different companies, including Off Topic Publishings, Vorbis International, and DXA.
Which company do you work for?
Well, I'm hired by Cerulean Security, which is in turn hired by SBK Holdings.
Could you tell me a bit about Cerulean Security?
Why are you so curious? Are you looking for a job?
I'm in the business. The name's Truscon.
Oh, I remember you now. You're the real deal, huh? Special Forces and Covert Intelligence and the whole shebang.
Yes, and right now I'm doing some freelance investigation work surrounding Deus Diablo's disappearance. Cerulean probably has no involvement in the matter, but I'm just trying to get an overview of what's going on in the city. And maybe something you tell me will turn out to be useful.
Well, sure. We don't have any secrets. We're a perfectly legitimate security company. What do you want to know?
What other security jobs are handled by the company?
We're hired by a lot of different companies because we take the job so seriously. We spend a lot of time making up our coverage plans and only employ experienced ex-military personnel. I don't know exactly which buildings we're hired to protect in the city, but I do know that the DX editing building right down the street is one of them. We also used to have a contract with PDX to handle security in their old building, but since the building was blown up, I think we've been let go. PDX decided to handle the security of their new headquarters by themselves, but they are using DXA as sort of a contingency team.
A what?
As far as I know, they made a deal with DXA that in the event of an increased threat level in the new PDX building, DXA will immediately dispatch a security team over there. It's cheaper for PDX that way because they won't have to pay DXA anything until they actually need them.
DXA is another security company?
Well, see, I don't think it is. I got the distinct impression that they're just a sort of detective agency. Private eyes, you know. But apparently they have a special arrangement with PDX. I think they also have some sort of strike force or something. Maybe you should talk to Daza if you're interested. He's a pretty high-ranking DXA agent. You can probably find him hanging out in the party zone.
Alright, I'll remember that. Thanks for all the info. I should be on my way again. I have many things to take care of tonight.
No problem. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Feel free to stop by again if you want to chat.
I'm glad that the little businesses can still survive with World Corp banging on their doors. A little competition never hurt anybody.
Hello! Welcome to Raving's Weapons Shop. I am Andreas, the one and only sales assistant, and pretty damn good at it, if I do say so myself.
Hi.
So, what can I do for you, sir?
I'm here to empty my locker.
Ah, yes. What's your name?
Trescon.
Wait, the Trescon? Trescon the ex-agent? Trescon who saved Raving's life once?
Yes, that Trescon.
Wow, it's a real honor to meet you. I heard you'd left the city for good. Hey, I got something for you. Any friend of Raving's is a friend of mine, and a man who once saved Raving's life is an even greater friend of mine.
You have something for me? Why do I already get the feeling that this is going to be slightly illegal?
Illegal? No way. Not a very lot. Well...
Alright, what do you got?
A napalm launcher.
Let me guess. Experimental?
Extremely. Not any less dangerous, though. I've been having a bit of fun with it on the firing range.
What's the price tag?
Because it's you, 1,000 credits, and that's cutting my own throat.
I'll remember your offer, but for now, I'll just get my stuff from that locker.
You do that. Your locker is the second one from the right in the middle row on the side facing the door.
Thank you. I'll be back if I decide to buy that napalm launcher.
Back to pick up that napalm launcher?
1,000 credits, you say?
I assure you, it's a very generous offer.
Well, I'm not really interested. I'd rather stay on the right side of the law.
Alright. Just don't tell anyone I have this thing, okay?
Don't worry, but do be careful with it.
Yeah. Anything else I can help you with?
Don't you sell nano swords here?
No, I'm afraid the Dragon's Tooth sword is a very rare and sought-after item. Only a small number were ever produced, and they're no longer made. The occasions when we do have them in stock are few and far between.
Damn. And you don't know where I might be able to find one?
Well, if I were you, I'd probe around in the slums. There are usually some suspect characters hanging around down there selling, interesting items. I'm sure somebody in a dark alley somewhere can set you up with a Dragon's Tooth sword.
Alright. Thanks for the advice.
No problem, but you didn't hear it from me, okay? Feel free to have a look at our other items, of course. I'm sure you'll find something you like.
on. Can I help you?
Raving. You see your old friend for the first time in 2 years, and then you ask me if you can help me?
Sorry, I'm not good with words. Why are you back? Have you seen Alpha yet?
Yeah, I have.
Good. He was quite upset when you left without saying goodbye.
Yeah, he seemed happy to see me again.
And I see you've been staying in shape.
I've done my best. But listen, I wanted to ask you if you know anything about the commotion in the administration. I was asked to investigate Deus Diablo's kidnapping.
I'm afraid I know nothing of that. I do have some other interesting information for you, though. It may help your investigation.
What about?
WorldCorp and PDX both.
Oh? Do tell.
It may not be much help, but I have a contact in the DxO who reckons that PDX is not administrated by Despot. He reckons that there's some sort of outside influence.
Like what?
He wouldn't tell me.
So one of the DxOers, who were sworn enemies of PDX, has told you that he has a hunch that Despot isn't the real leader of PDX, but he wouldn't tell you who is that. That sounds unreliable. Sorry.
Yeah, alright. But I know something about WorldCorp too, and this is much more reliable. A few months ago, I sent Andreas on a scouting mission to dig up some incriminating data on WorldCorp. He found a set of floor plans depicting a subterranean level beneath the WorldCorp building. Here, look at this.
Andreas? You sent the kid on a scouting mission?
Well, you see, I've been working with a couple of the PDX guys for a while. Jonas created some augmentations for Andreas, so he could do all sorts of things like cloak himself or connect directly to a computer without any other interference than his mind. Evil Invasion coded a program to protect Andreas from WorldCorp's aggressive security system.
So you've been turning Andreas into your own personal covert agent. Why?
So I could keep an eye on WorldCorp, of course. We wanted to know what those scumbags were up to.
So you sent him into WorldCorp and he got these blueprints for you?
Yes. Unfortunately, Andreas came back half-demented and with malfunctioning logs because of the black ice system protecting the confidential data system. Whatever you do, don't hack into those systems unless you really know what you're doing. Andreas only survived because of the cut-down version of black ice that Evil made for him.
So Jonas from PDX made Andreas' augmentations?
Yeah, Weaver is the only way to get augs around here other than WorldCorp. He may know something about black ice, too.
I'll remember that.
Watch out, though. He's a total ponce.
A jar of pickles, 300 credits.
What? 300 credits?
That's right.
That's ridiculous. I demand a discount.
Look, it's not like I'm permanently disabling you. I just need to do some tweaking to your core programming so you're more stable.
You're unemployed and using a subpar CFC/standards of retail stores. Store as a mission lab. Evaluation. You suck. I want to be with my real dad.
Unless you want to end up blown apart by a firewall, I suggest you let me modify you so you're less likely to attack someone and more stable. Remember last week when your audio sensor stopped working? Who fixed you then?
Fine. Evaluation. You're a jerk and I still hate you.
Are you a regular here?
Hardly. I'm just here to work on my bot. There are, unsurprisingly, not a whole lot of places you can bring a dangerous spider bot.
Dangerous? Is it going to attack me at random?
I don't think so, but it is quite capable of doing so. Back when I was working for World Corp, I had a lot of resources at my disposal. Now I'm making do spending my last few credits on an overpriced jar of pickles just so some communist storekeeper will let me stay here. I'm envious hacker, by the way.
I'm Trescon.
Trescon, right. I thought I heard something about you coming back after a couple of years.
So what's the deal with you and World Corp? Did you get fired?
Not officially, no. They just stopped paying me when they convinced that guy to work my shift. He's their other programmer. That guy is his handle. The same amount of work for half the cost, essentially.
I see. So why are you even working on this bot? It looks like one of those World Corp security bots.
I beg to differ. I am far more sophisticated than the other bots designed to secure World Corp holdings. Evaluation. The other bots can suck my user I/O port.
Yeah, actually. It's a prototype I built for World Corp a few months ago. The reason I have it is kind of a long story, but I decided to keep working on it. With the state the city's been in with Deus Diablo gone, it never hurts to have an extra deterrent against thugs and cultists.
Speaking of Deus Diablo, you wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you? I'm investigating a disappearance.
No more than anyone else. He's gone, and our system doesn't seem to be equipped to handle him as a moderator. The other two can't seem to maintain control.
Fair enough. Good luck with your spider bot.
Good luck with your missing moderator.
Tell me more about when you worked at World Corp.
Sure. I suppose you have a vested interest in finding out as much about World Corp as possible, given that you're investigating Dee Dee's disappearance. It didn't start off bad. When I got the job, there were two other programmers, Evil Invasion and that guy. They were talented guys, but I didn't talk to them much. They were working on a classified project at the time.
Do you know anything about that project?
Nah, I had a pretty low clearance rating at the time. No one told me anything. Evil would know, though, if you could find him. He quit not long after the completion of that project. I never knew where he ended up. He tried to send me an email a few days after he quit, I think. But when I tried to read it, it just said the contents of this message had been deleted at the request of the system's administrator. That guy was clearly the only one capable of doing it, but I never got a straight answer out of him as to why. Needless to say, I knew to never use my work email account for personal stuff after that.
They're that paranoid?
You don't know the half of it. Anyways, things were looking up for me at the beginning, as I was saying. I was the only programmer at the company that was willing to wear a suit, and after some successful interviews with various managers, and then Skara, I was on the fast track for management.
So how well do you know Skara?
Not very well. I think the best thing you can say about my relationship with Skara is that I somehow made enough of an impression for him to only mispronounce my name once out of 3 times he said it. That's apparently a big deal with Skara, and I suddenly had a lot more company resources at my disposal.
So where did things start to go wrong?
Well, I began working on projects with our robotics and nanotechnology divisions. Most of them were successful. The project to allow augmentation canisters to function as upgrade canisters when used on the same augmentation, for instance, was extremely successful, and the firmware for medbots around the city has been updated with it. Some people think we stole the system from DXE. I don't know if that's true, but it wouldn't surprise me too much. I just helped convert the algorithm our research and development team apparently found into something user-friendly that most medbots could use. There were a lot of comparatively more mundane things, like improving the manufacturing costs of our security bots as well. But then there was the project to replace Bot AFF. It worked, but it was deemed far too expensive to retrofit our current models. Ordinarily, it might have only cost me time as far as advancement goes, but I appealed the decision. That simply isn't done at World Corp. You do as you're told. Things got worse when the prototype model, which you see standing beside me, suddenly malfunctioned and began verbally abusing people. I became a joke, and soon enough I went back to just programming. Then, shortly after, that guy started working my shifts, as I mentioned before. They stopped paying me and denied me access to my office. they had some legal reason for not firing me directly. So, I left.
Wow, I'm surprised that you got away with that.
They can get away with a lot of things. They're the most powerful corporation in Slum City.
It certainly seems that way. Thanks for the information.
Anytime.
So, what's the full story with the spider bot?
Well, A2 here.
You should address me by my full name when you are explaining my history. I am Abomination II, son of the great protector of Lamar. Evaluation. My name fills me with pride. If it does not fill you with pride, you are goat scum.
Yes, Abomination II, or A2 for short. It picked its own name.
What?
Well, you see, the project I mentioned about the IFF replacement for bots, A2 is the prototype I built for it. He represents roughly 150,000 credits in corporate money. When he was initially built, he was a simple, mild-mannered robot that distinguished friend from foe in the manner that we do, completely immune to scrambler grenades. When I was appealing for the renewal of the project, the bot suddenly and dramatically malfunctioned. It picked its current name, became uncooperative, and began insulting people in its evaluation debug lines that show what it's currently thinking. While I could never prove anything, I'm pretty sure that guy hacked it, altered its neural network core, and changed the relevant programming. He had mocked the project a lot, you know. So what if they shoot the wrong person? Ammo is cheap. And he was the only person I know that was capable of doing such a thing. I, of course, could never prove it, and it just made people further annoyed at me.
You must really have a grudge against him at this point, then.
There's no point. We mostly got along. We just had our disagreements, and sometimes a sense of humor ended up getting people fired. It's not right, but he is what he is. In a way, the joke's on him for not taking me and the IFF project seriously, actually. You see, apparently a couple weeks ago he authorized the scientist to mount an experimental weapon I had designed before I left on A2, who had been put into storage after roaming around insulting people for a month, because he happened to be compatible with its mounting. They tried to get him to use the weapon on a lab target they had set up, but he simply walked away, explaining that he was going to go see his father, Abomination, at the Llama Temple, at which point one of the scientists laughed at him. This was a near-fatal mistake, I hear, as his coat was promptly set on fire. He would have been killed if they hadn't had the prototype EMP pistol nearby to disable it.
EMP pistol?
I'm probably not legally allowed to mention that. Forget I said anything.
So why is the bot with you now?
Well, after they disabled it, the manager had an option to destroy it, but he didn't want to fill out an expense report for destroying company property, so he chose to ship it to me for external debugging instead. As I understand it, he got demoted for backing my IFF project, so he probably just wanted it to burn me alive, but it ended up working out.
Wow. It still seems like something pretty dangerous to wind up at your doorstep.
I dare say I've gotten better packages in my life. But he really has worked out, and I've been slowly restoring his functionality ever since. I should even be able to replace his weapon with something non-lethal pretty soon.
That sucks. Evaluation. My ability to inspire terror in my idiotic foes will be reduced by 57%.
I think you'll manage.
Well, good luck getting your, pet working again.
I hadn't thought of him as a pet. I'll have to introduce him as that.
I am not a pet. Evaluation. My dad would kill you for saying that.
Someday I'll have this bot working perfectly.
Excuse me, miss. Could you tell me something?
Sure. What do you want to know?
Who owns this place?
I don't know, but it's privately owned. I think there are some offices upstairs where you can probably find the owner.
Alright. What kind of place is it exactly?
It's a very exclusive nightclub, unlike some of the dumps you'll find in this city. Nice and clean. and they have a great DJ and an affordable bar. And then, most of the people who come here are suits and scientists, so you generally don't have to be afraid of some idiot grabbing your ass or anything like that.
Sounds good. Thanks for the answers.
No problem. Maybe when Rebecca shows up, we'll meet you inside?
That'd be great.
Cool. See ya. I promised I'd meet her out here.